2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It's been a fun week around here. I've gotten to catch up with a whole bunch of the Super Bowl 35 champs. As Mike ran into Jamal Lewis the other night. Mike Flynn always likes to beat up the New England Patriots after the Ravens beat them. And here's a guy that did his fair share of winning in the National Football League. Jack Del Rio now at ESPN. Coming to Baltimore on various Ring of Honor occasions for Coach Billick, and you can follow him at Coach Del Rio out on Twitter. Jack, I know you want to get back in the league and get a head coaching job, but if you do, you're going to have to deal with Lamar Jackson. And I know that's on right. Sunday night, maybe you don't want to get back in the league and have to tackle him and figure it out, man.
Fortunately, I don't have to do it as a linebacker. I don't have to try and tackle him. I can just get some other fast guys that can get that done. But no, he's electrifying, and boy, what a great win for the Ravens organization there.
Jack, for you a year and a half ago, and draft night, and seeing Lamar, and you've sat in all these meetings. You ran these meetings in Jacksonville, Oakland, and Denver, all other places. The thoughts about drafting a quarterback like this and saying, we are going to now sign the likes of Willie Snead and give him money because he's a blocking wide receiver. We're going to have Nick Boyle. We're going to have two-way players like Pat Ricard. It's a different style of offense, and I think from an analytical standpoint, from wherever Eric was, first-year running quarterback with an incredible skill set, it's opened up the possibilities for Eric DeCosta to augment the defense and trade for Marcus Peters when there was a need there. Things are different around here, but more than that, this thing has become impressive, I think even quicker than maybe John Harbaugh thought possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I was there for Brian's induction into the Ring of Honor, and the Ravens laid an egg against the Brownies, all right? And so I came away from there saying, this is not the Ravens of old. I mean, this was not the team I remember. I mean, I was really disappointed that day. And I didn't see what they put together over the last month. So, hats off to John Harbaugh and the coaching staff and the players all coming together and putting that game behind them as quick as possible and being able to put on the performance like they did on Sunday night against an undefeated Patriots team. I mean, that was just really, really good ball. And, they've embraced everything Lamar, which is what you should do. If you're going to take a guy in the first round and you're going to make him your quarterback, you want to give him all the tools to succeed. And I applaud them for going all in and giving him the tools he needs, including blockers and the physical approach, even with the receivers, like you said, and speed. I think they added speed with Marquise Brown. I think that was a huge get. So. They've done a nice job putting it all together, and the defense is playing better. Wink got them playing much better than that performance that I saw on that Sunday against the Brownies.
It's interesting, after a win like this, the Mike Silver types and the Peter Kings all believe Greg Roman and Wink Martindale are going to be in line to get head coaching jobs at this point. John's avoided some of that for a number of years, but with success, as Coach Billick found out with you and Marvin and Rex and everybody else, they come to the back door in Owings Mills to cart your coaches out of there once you have a little bit of success too.
Yeah, and they should. I mean, I think Greg Roman's done a great job there with that offense and making sure that your pieces and your system and everything that you're doing supports the players that you have. To me, that's what winning football is all about, and they're doing a great job of it. And it's not just being a system guy. It's beyond that. It's building the system, but having the leadership abilities and the capability of putting it all together.
You've been building defensive systems for 2 decades. Build me a defensive system. Tell me what Bill Belichick was telling his guys last week, because to some degree they bottled Lamar up. He ran the ball 16 times for 60 yards. He never really got loose. He got to the sticks a couple of times. When he needs 3, he can get 4 usually. But as far as having him run wild, he did not run wild on Sunday night. It was sort of everything else, right? It's stopping Ingram when you stop Lamar.
Yeah, no, it's everything. But to me, with Lamar, you have to be really fundamentally sound. You can't get your shoulders, you can't turn them in and then lock your hips and not be able to accelerate with him. He's already faster, so you have to be technically sound when you're trying to get him down on the ground, and that's easier said than done, obviously, with a guy that's going by like a blur. But, it's what you have to do. And so, to me, they broke down fundamentally a few times. But overall, the attack that they went with, I liked it. I mean, I think it was the right one. They just have to do it better. And so, to me, the key for the Ravens the other night was they didn't allow the Patriots to really make a run. They capitalized on the Patriot mistakes, and that's kind of uncharacteristic of New England to turn the ball over and make big mistakes, but they did, and the Ravens made them pay for it.
Flynn's up in New England doing radio up there watching the Patriots every week, and he said, he's seen this before in the regular season. Your team comes in and gives Belichick and Brady what for. Then you have to realize 8 weeks from now, it'll probably be up there the next time around. It really does set the tone for a hell of a rematch if there is such a thing in January.
Oh yeah, no, we can dream of the rematch, and they can dream the revenge game that they'd have a shot at getting. But to me, that's a long way away. There's a lot of football to be played between now and then. So, really, it's what team can just not get too high if you're the Ravens, not get too low if you're the Patriots. Just, who can systematically continue to put good efforts forward week in and week out. And then we'll get to those games, those meaningful games in December where, playoff positioning becomes really important. And but there's a stretch right here. These are almost like the dog days of summer for baseball. This stretch right here. The excitement of the new season is over. You've gone through the trade window and all that kind of stuff. Right now, your team is basically what it's going to be to finish the year, and you're not in that last month yet, so there's not like the finish, and they're kind of in these dog days right now. And this is where the good, solid football teams just kind of settle in and just start clipping off wins.
Been very rare, Jack Del Rio, that we've had in November where we have a 2-game lead. Noticed while I sat around on Sunday watching a Red Zone and getting ready for Sunday Night Football, Steelers win late, Kansas City wins late, Chargers win a game nobody thought they were going to win. You feel like these teams are going to go away, especially the Browns and the Bengals, and we'll have our opportunity to knock them off as well. But the Steelers, it's amazing. Winning football games with a third-string quarterback. It's I don't think that we saw this, but certain organizations do that. I don't know that the Steelers are dead yet.
No, they're not dead. I think Mike Tomlin's done a great job of rallying the team, and he basically was defiant when people were talking about that they were done and they were finished, and he was I saw an interview with him, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, Mike. That's how I'm just as another coach, as a fellow coach, just like appreciating the leadership he was providing for his team. It's like, darn right, we're going to fight. We've got good players here. We're going to find a way, and that's what they've done. And so they have their defense is loaded, so they've got good people there, and they still have a ground game, and they can play around the quarterback, and that's what they've done. They've done a nice job of it, and kept themselves, right at the 500 mark, and which keeps them in contention for a wild card spot.
Jack Del Rio is here. He is Coach Del Rio. He's on ESPN from time to time and talking about football. I want to get around the league a little bit with you and get some observations about how you feel about the rest of the league. I mean, we sit here and talk Ravens all week long, but when it comes to the Patriots and where they are and beating them in January, obviously not their finest hour on Sunday night, and a 42-year-old quarterback. We all marvel at Brady, but they're still, I still look at the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans, whoever it's going to be, there are going to be 2 chances to knock New England out in January. I want to know what you have under the hood there to beat them in January because, I'm still not convinced the Ravens can get on a bus in the 3rd week in January and go up there and win until they actually do it.
Oh, no, I think the brand of football that they play, I think that travels. Running the football, playing defense, that travels. So, yeah, no, I think they can take that up there and would have a legitimate shot at it. I think the Chiefs are getting better on defense, which I actually did a segment on NFL Live last week where I was describing that I was seeing that, and Steve Spagnuolo, dialing up pressures and them playing a little better in the secondary, and them learning how to fit the run up with linebackers, which they're beginning to do a little bit better. So I think the Ravens, I think the Chiefs, that might be it. Maybe the Colts if they stay healthy and get going. I love Houston. I love Deshaun Watson. I mean, he keeps his team in contention. So guys like Lamar, guys like Deshaun, they almost will the teams. They almost take them with them with the desire that they bring, and they're special. They're just special in intangible ways, and so I appreciate both those guys. But anyway, those are kind of the teams I think will challenge New England.
Jack, you played some games over in London in your day?
No, never did.
None of your teams ever went over there.
I went international. Went to
Mexico,
Germany, Japan, and then went to Mexico twice with the Raiders.
Yeah, the London thing and the Chargers thing and what happened out there with all the Packers fans, what happens every week the Chargers are playing. Thoughts about a London football team? I mean, if someone called you and said, you want to coach my team in London, boy, that's a whole different story for the league, and I think you know it, I know it, the people, it's coming. I mean, Roger Goodell wants to make money. They all want to make money. Jacksonville and San Diego, some of these other franchises that haven't had the kind of draw that they wanted to have. I think you and I are going to live long enough to see a team in London.
There's no question. There's no question about it. It's something in the meetings. Years ago, Roger Goodell, brought this up as a long-term goal. So I know he's got it on the radar. He's, working with him and others in the league office are working hard to make that happen someday. I think the whole idea of growing, of making it a global market as opposed to just the United States market, I think that's very enticing for the league, for ownership, and the ability to grow that pie. I mean, you talk about the collective bargaining agreement that's coming up here between the players and the owners, and how they're going to divide the pie. Well, when that pie grows, it's a lot easier to divide when that pie grows exponentially.
Jack, for you, the San Francisco 49ers is an undefeated team. When you were in Oakland, it feels like 5 minutes ago, you blink, and the 49ers weren't very good. It felt like it was going to take a long time, and Lynch comes in, the deal for Garoppolo, they draft at the top a couple of times. 8-0. I mean, that's heady stuff even by Bill Walsh's standards.
Yeah, I'm not sure that isn't a mirage of sorts. I think they're a good team. I'm not sure they're a great team. They get a chance to prove that to us over the last half of the year, but they're certainly off to a tremendous start. They can almost fail the rest of the way in. They're going to get in. I mean, they're going to find their way in. So I think it starts up front with them. Their front four is tenacious. I think Bosa adds an element. The way he collapses the pocket, plays so hard, brings energy. I think he's a perfect fit. It'll be interesting. I think Quan Alexander was hurt this past week. He added speed at the middle linebacker spot. I think that could be a big blow for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they fill that void, because with their cover 3 zone system, you need a linebacker that can run. Take away some of those weak hook issues, which is after play pass, get back deep enough to take away some of those deep crossers, and that's a vital role for that cover 3 defense that they're playing there. That was made famous up in Seattle by Pete Carroll. So it'd be interesting to see how they hold up with that. And offensively, I mean, I've not been a big believer in Jimmy G, but listen, I have to give him credit. He played his tail off this past week, so. If he has more efforts like that, that'll make them more legit, in my opinion.
When you were coaching, I couldn't ask you about officiating. Now that you're not, I can. Sitting in the upper deck and watching these 5-minute breaks for pass interference, we're gonna go to the booth and we're gonna wait. We're gonna go to New York and I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get a drink. And I guess if you're home, you might change the channels. Thoughts about the officiating and where it is, and every year I would see you at these owners' meetings and competition committees, and the owners get together and all the brain makers for the league and trying to figure out how to get it better. And I don't know that this thing hasn't gotten worse. I mean, over the course of the last couple of years, they go to a replay, and I said, you flip a coin, because I never feel like that there's really any sort of consensus on getting a call right. I mean, not even the two broadcasters in the booth can figure it out.
It's gotten worse. It's terrible. I mean, the broadcasters can't. How can you? I mean, because what's pass interference is not even being. It's like a protest. They've just decided that's a law they don't like. So rather than rewrite the law, they're they're just not going to enforce it. And it's bad. I mean, it's bad for the game. It's bad for fans. It's bad. It's just bad.
Why can't we get it right, though? Why can't we get
really
everyone in a
simple.
room and legislate this and make it better at least?
It's not about legislation. It's about actually following through. When you have a rule, actually enforcing it. I mean, they have decided. I say they, the officiating, and I think the league supporting it because they're allowing it, and so it's occurring, and it's a blatant shot at Sean Payton's effort to get this rule in, which was successful, and they're basically protesting and saying we're not going to overturn it anyway. So
I remember having long arguments with Marvin about this, during combines and stuff. And as a fan, I wanted it reviewed. And
Yep,
I remember
me too.
sitting with Marvin and Smitty one night, late into the night in Indianapolis, and they're yelling at me and saying, "There's no way, there's never happened, it'll never happen. There's nobody wants that. Nobody wants, pass interference to be reviewed." And I'm thinking, I'm a fan. I kind of do if they could get the call right. I mean, just get the call right after you review it.
Really, so simple. It's so simple. Okay. First of all, do replay more like college, because our system's not very good, okay? Takes way too long. I was watching a college game the other day, and the referee didn't even come over and look at anything. It was like they looked at it, yep, they confirmed it. Okay, boom, done. It took no time. It shouldn't take so much time. They don't have to have this big drawn-out process every time there's a review. Just take a look, confirm, yes. Confirm the call, go. Okay, done. And so they're making it way too difficult. I'm not a fan of where we're going as a league right now on the officiating front. To me, here's the basic premise of officiating should be to ensure a fair competition between two football teams. That's it. Okay? It's not call every single thing you see. Okay? Where we started going down that road, it was a huge mistake because it turns off fans. It's boring to watch. Nobody tunes in. Nobody tuned in last night to watch the stripes, all right, and yellow flags on the field. Okay, so we need them to be less involved in the game. All right, we need the calls where teams are gaining an advantage. We need to stop calling every little ticky-tack call that you see. And to me, that's when we started going down that road. We took common sense out of the game. For the NFL referee, we reduced it to what it is now, which I think is a shameful product.
Well, and I think for all of you coaches who've been involved in all of this, the one thing that I always hear coaches say is, how do I coach it? Tell me what I'm supposed to tell my DB about pass interference. How are we coaching it technique-wise to make sure that we're not coaching it wrong?
Yeah, right. Well, I know one thing. You wouldn't coach a guy to go through the back of the receiver like occurred last night and not expect a call. You would know that's PI. Everybody watching the game last night, everybody knew that was PI. Okay? I mean, it wasn't – whatever they come up with, like today in describing that, is just a lie because it's not true. I mean, we know what we know. You can't be early. You can't go through the back of the guy. Clear violation of a PI rule, and then they review it, and then first of all they miss it on the field, which I don't know how you miss that, and then they review it, and then they want to pretend like it's not actually a foul. I mean, that's just we're all smarter than that. Everybody understands that they're not being truthful with us. That's frustrating.
Jack Del Rio has been my friend for 2 decades. He is Coach Del Rio out on Twitter and of course at ESPN. You enjoying the broadcasting, Jack?
I am. I'm enjoying it. I've been. It's a different vantage point, covering the game from a different angle, but it keeps me around it. I've been watching a lot of film. I've been visiting a lot of games. I've called some on ESPN radio. I'll actually be in Pittsburgh this week when the Rams come into town. So
I'm sorry.
I've been calling. I've been calling a few broadcasts and enjoying it, and being up here in Bristol on Tuesday and Wednesday.
See, I figure a guy like you, you're out of the league, you're on TV. One of the benefits would be, hey, I don't have to go to Cleveland and Pittsburgh anymore. Jack, take care of yourself, man. Hey, I was glad to show you the brick at the Inner Harbor with your name on it. You didn't even know your name is on the Inner Harbor 24 hours a day. How about that?
I didn't. You know what? I did not know that. I'm really appreciative of that, and appreciative of the time I spent up in Baltimore. Great area. Maybe someday I'll find my way back that way, and I'll definitely look you up, Nestor.
All right, man. Always got a plate of pasta for you. There he goes, Jack Del Rio. Coach Del Rio out on Twitter and, of course, at ESPN on the worldwide leader doing football here this season. And Super Bowl 35 champion as a coach of the Baltimore Ravens and the linebacking core, along with the great Ray Lewis. You can find me out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device, including Bristol, Connecticut, by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. You can find us out there in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. Baltimore positive all over the place. We got Westmore on Friday night over at State Fair in Catonsville. Come on out, have a little happy hour beverage, and we're going to talk about making Baltimore better. Also, Maggie McIntosh on Thursday morning next week. Thoreau Vignaraja joins us at Lexington Market at Faithley's. We'll have a crab cake late in the morning talking about running for mayor of Baltimore. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore. I'm headed to Cincinnati, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.